In this quick review video, we're going to talk about simplifying square roots. That's just going to help you with skill 4E, which is simplifying square root expressions. So the perfect squares are the integers that are numbers multiplied itself. 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, and so on. Generally up to 100 is what you're going to need. These are really important numbers because they have nice square roots. If I take the square root of 4, I just get 2. If I take the square root of 9, I just get 3. If I pick any number in the middle here, like 17, it's not going to have a nice square root. So to simplify a square root, we simply figure out those perfect squares and pull them out of the square root. Everything else is just going to stay. So I'm going to list the perfect squares. I recommend you do this on your page. So just list these at the top of the page, and I'll simplify the square root of 32. So is 32 divisible by any of these perfect squares? And it is. It's 16 times 2. 2 is not one of these blue numbers, so it's just going to stay there. But 16 is one of the blue numbers, and the square root of 16 is 4. So that 4 kind of comes out of the square root, and you get that answer. 75, we decide, is it divisible by any of these blue numbers? And it is. 75 is divisible by 25. It's 25 times 3. And 3 is not one of the blue numbers, so it's just going to stay there. But the square root of 25 is 5. So that's my final answer. This number is a little bit bigger, the square root of 600. What is this divisible by? You could say, and there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I could say 600 is divisible by 25, and I have a 24 left over. And 25 is one of these perfect blue numbers, so that's going to turn into a 5. But you always want to simplify as much as possible. So I say 24, is this still divisible by any of these blue numbers? And it turns out it is. 24 is divisible by 4. It's 4 times 6. And 4 is one of these perfect squares. So that's going to turn into a nice number. And then I combine these two numbers I brought out. These are multiplication, so I get 10 square root of 6. And notice there's one way you could have done this a little bit quicker. You could have recognized that 600 is actually divisible by 100. And the 100 turns into a 10. And you get the same answer. So you can do it in multiple steps or single steps, depending on which perfect square you find. So this helps you simplify square roots and do that skill.